start the meeting. All right. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to 2023. Right. This is our traffic and transportation meeting for January 2023. I want to welcome everybody that's on. Just want to start with the reading of the guidelines. Good evening, everyone. My name is Edgar Ramos, Chair of the Traffic and Transportation Committee. This is Bronx Community Board 7's Traffic and Transportation Committee. Committee agenda is as follows. We basically don't have any events for today. We're just going to follow a normal agenda. We've got MTA updates, TD11 updates, and then DOT updates. So on December 23rd, 2022, Mayor Adams issued Executive Order 291, extending the state of emergency through January 20th, 2023. Accordingly, boards are able to continue to act under the state of emergency section of Video Conferencing Law, Chapter 56 of the Laws of 2022, Part WW. This allows the board to continue remotely minutes and video recording. Hold on a second. Sorry about that. This allows the board to continue remotely. Minutes will be made available on our website. If you're calling into the meeting on the conference, controls while joining from landline or cell by calling the dial-up number. To hear all available commands, enter the asterisk on your phone, or *6 to mute or unmute yourself, *9 for the virtual raise hand. How we will run this meeting is as follows. Code of conduct for meetings, penalties and actions. Bronx Community Board 7 has the right to remove and or ask a member of the public to leave, not limited to leave a meeting, or block participation of anyone who engages in appropriate conduct, including but not limited to obscene or offensive images or language, personal attacks, threats, or any other behavior that reasonably impedes the orderly administration of the meetings. Repeated offenses will be reviewed by the board's executive committee and any other assigned committee for the ban. The amount of time to be objectively determined by the above committees of the participant in the event if repeated disruptive behavior. If in-person outbursts or attack continues, this will be considered disturbing the peace, and authorities shall be summoned. Everyone besides the speaker or presenter will stay muted throughout the meeting. After each presentation is over, I will inquire if community members have questions. Community members will signify that they have a question by pressing the raised hand button on your screen. If you're on Zoom, or request to speak through the chat or when the chair opens the floor. Members of the public who have joined through the online link will be able to ask questions and make brief statement on the item after each presentation, and after the committee has had opportunity to ask if clarifying questions by pressing the raised hand button on your screen on Zoom, or request to speak to the chat or when the chair opens the floor. Only those recognized by the chair of the committee will be allowed to speak during the allotted time. We will stay on topic with the agenda items. Any other items will be acknowledged by the chair in new business or addressed at the next meeting, granted there is enough time and the committee agrees on the topic. Following the questions, discussions, and public comment portion, the committee will begin their discussions after each presentation and agenda item, and will conclude with the decision to vote on the recommendation. When the agenda is finished, the meeting will be adjourned. If there are any questions related to the meeting software or our process, please use the chat function or raise hand function, or contact the district manager once one is elected. Um, okay, sorry, I'm kind of jumping around here. Okay, let's start with introductions. Due to the fact that we have a new representation from TD11, commanding officer.
How you doing, everyone?
Hey, how are you?
So I'm Captain Joe Bulgarin, new to District 11. I started here in October, 2 months ago. Going into 3 months. Great command. Crime has actually been down since I've been here. It's, knock on wood, the crime has been down. The enforcement aspect has been up. I see what is going on in the command, obviously with we're getting into the winter and, with the homeless, I noticed into that, especially everything shifting over into the D line, which is the Grand Concourse line. But we've been working a lot with the homeless services and giving everybody obviously the services that they deserve. And if a lot of them really don't take it, we try to work with them in the subway system.
All right, thank you for your introduction. I also know I've spoken to the 5-2 command, and I know they've been offering a lot of officers for the on-site at the train stations such as Kingsbridge, Mushula Parkway, and the D line also. So I've seen them on the platforms and helping the service.
Yeah, so Edgar, talking about the 5-2, that's actually one of our big stations, Kingsbridge Road, right on the Grand Concourse, right, the underpass. We've paid a lot of special attention to that area right there, pretty much that underpass. We've been working with the 5-2 together. Officer Benedict could tell you himself, we gone out with other city agencies doing joint operations, cleaning up needles, offering services. We've done numerous operations there, helping out with the narcotics issue that's going on in that area. Organized so the narcotics teams as well, because obviously there's drug sets close by in that area. They've been helping out as well with the drug issue in that area. So from our aspect in the transit system, we've definitely done a lot of focus on that. Yes. On that station itself.
Yeah, that 194th Street hasn't changed over much of the years. It's been a really bad situation since the early 80s, and it's continued that way for many years. Sure. And unfortunately, it boils over to the train station in both 196th Street entrance and the Kingsbridge Road entrance in the tunnel. We appreciate the support we get from you guys there. Okay, if we could just do the attendance real quick for the meeting. Edgar Ramos, Chair, Present. Eric Asensio.
Eric Asensio, present.
Lowell Green.
Lowell Green is present.
Daisy Perry.
Daisy Perry, present.
Andrew Leosa.
Andrew Leosa, present.
All right, thank you all. Thank you. We have perfect attendance for our first meeting, for the first meeting of the year, right? Jahaira Arias is no longer considered on our rosters since she's been promoted, and so it doesn't count for votes or for quorum. So right now the committee's only five people, counting myself. Just a heads up. All right.
I have my hand up. I have a quick question.
Yes,
are we entertaining questions to the transit officer or no?
I was just doing introductions real quick because I'm following the agenda.
All right.
Just gonna do the minutes and then we're gonna give them their spot in the new business.
All right, okay.
All right, okay, did everyone get a copy of the minutes we're doing the minutes for November due to the fact that we didn't have a December meeting. So we are now reviewing our November meeting minutes. Did everyone get a chance to look at them? All right, so we're gonna go through the vote. I approve the minutes as presented. Eric Asensio,
I approve the minutes.
thank you. Lowell Green,
I approve.
okay. Daisy Perry,
Fortunately, I don't see the minutes in my email.
I don't have it either.
okay. It should have been sent, this should have been in today's. There should have been there should have been three attachments. I'm sorry, two attachments. You should have gotten with the email, I believe. I'm just
I
looking
only
at it
have
real
one.
quick right now.
I only have one thing. Are you able to put it on the screen?
I can't. I don't know how to do that. And due to the fact that I really can't see, I'm not even going to attempt it because I don't know what's going to end up on the screen. Can you do that for me? Are you still on?
So, yes, I'm still on.
Yeah.
So on our records, we have that the minutes will follow on website. So
No, but it was sent on the meeting. On the
There were two attachments. One was for the Kingsbridge Armory meeting.
no,
One
no,
was,
I
of
got
course,
that there was an email sent on December 29th
December
about
29th.
the January traffic and transportation meeting request. Oh, I'm sorry, that was only sent to me. Never mind, scratch that. Okay. So I'm looking to see, and I see it's not on the invitation for today's meeting.
It's not, but if you, can you forward me the email? I can pull it up on the screen.
Sure, hold on.
you could always approve it later in the meeting.
All right, Carl, I just forwarded it to you. Is the attachment attached?
I see. It's still on its way.
Okay.
So,
You mean email's not as instant as it's supposed to be? Sorry. Okay, so I'll tell you what, let's continue on through the agenda for right now. She'll forward that out when she gets it, and then we can do it on the screen. Why am I having problems here? All right. Okay, sorry, I just had to go back real quick.
Edgar, can you try to resend the email? I think something happened to it. There's a lot of R's in my email.
Forward. All right, just tried it again. Just give me a second. I'm trying to bring up
Yeah,
the
sorry.
agenda again. All right, all right, so let's go, start going into new business. We don't have anyone here from DOT today. They didn't believe that they had anything to bring us. They're not prepared to present anything for us. MTA, as of now, we still don't have a direct link with a person yet. We have had some communication with MTA. We just have to figure out about them getting to our meetings. Like I said, because it's a difference between a state agency and a city agency, and we just have to figure out how we work this out. So our last item on the new business would be TD11. So we now ask Officer Meredith and the commanding officer, you guys have a presentation for us for this month, and so we could ask some questions also. I know in your introduction you gave some information as to some of the situations on the train stations. Officer Meredith, do you have anything else for us?
As far as that, for the 28-day period, we just had one robbery on one of our stations, actually in the confines of the 5-2 area. That's about it, honestly. The guy was apprehended. Other than that, you know, we do recommend everybody to be safe out there in the train stations. Of course, I always talk about sleeping passengers, especially at 5 a.m. in the morning, 6 a.m., you know, going on our way to work. You know, just try to be alert, because I know we all tired, especially during rush hours, and that's giving anybody just a chance for, you know, to snatch your cell phone away from you. And I caught it on a couple of bases where I have to wake up the passenger, and you know, and they still get mad at me. But at the end of the day, we still got a job to do.
Yeah, I remember the days I used to come home from Pace University. I'd get on that 4 train, and I'd wake up at Woodlawn. I had to wait for the train to go back downtown so I could get off of my stop. But I'd wake up with everything still in my pocket, thankfully. Things have changed a little bit, and things are a little more dangerous, unfortunately.
It's it's funny that we're talking about that, but it's it's something really big that you see so many people just sleeping, passed out, phones. And I'm gonna just show you one thing that I actually took on the train. While being on the train, we actually woke the individual up. He actually put his phone away, but and it's kind of like it makes, you know, people being easy targets. I'm not sure if you can see it real quick, but I'm gonna try to zoom in.
Yeah, we saw it for a second. Yeah,
it went back out, but like completely passed out, and it just becomes an easy target for guys right next to the, you know, the exits of the train. Train pulls up, that's an easy snatch for some of the guys that, you know, are looking to score some, you know, a quick score, you know. And we see it a lot, and what we're doing is we're trying to advertise as much as possible, you know, anybody with a purse or the same thing with phones out, just, you know, try to be aware of what's going on around, aware of your surroundings.
Yeah, because I know for a while there was the cutting pockets. So if they see you sleeping and they see the bulge in your pocket, they would slit your pocket open and take your phone out, money, whatever was creating the bulge was gone. And you'd have a nice little cut in your jeans. I know that was going popular for a while.
Oh yeah.
Just to give you guys a heads up, I know, like I said, Captain, this is new for you. I had spoke to Officer Meredith about parking, right? Believe it or not, check this out. Along the concourse, going north of Fordham Road, what's starting to happen more often, they haven't done the upgrade to the medians yet.
Okay.
That divide the concourse up as they did down on 161st. So there's places where people can basically park, and what's happening is people are parking along the separation of the express and local lanes.
Okay.
But unfortunately, what that's creating is there's the escape staircases for the train before it turns, because basically by the time it gets up to Mushula Parkway, the train turns and goes towards 204th Street underneath the concourse. So it
Okay.
doesn't go all the way to the end of the concourse, but up to about was that Van Cortlandt Park South. There's if there's an emergency or whatever on the train where the people have to exit and they have to use the escape staircase, there's a gate that opens up onto the concourse. Most of those gates are located on that median and the concourse in the middle.
Sure.
And what's happening is some people are actually parking on top of it.
On top of it.
Right. I mean, I know last night as I was driving home, I saw a tractor trailer up by the church, and about 197th Street. There was just the tractor part. The trailer wasn't attached anymore, but these things are just being parked in the concourse. And God help us if there just happens to be the escape staircases underneath where the vehicle is parked. That's gonna obviously impact the people trying to get off the train platforms and off the trains. I put that to the attention also at the 5-2. I mean, I've lived in this neighborhood for 40 something years, and literally this is the first time this year where I've noticed that it's becoming more of a common thing to see cars parked on that area.
I had a question. Do you know who from the 5-2 you have been reaching out to see if we could probably get to?
I've spoken to Echeverria. He's with
Oh, okay.
he's
All
with the
right.
community affairs. Yeah, I know you know
Yes,
him.
yes, I know Echeverria.
Yeah.
Got you.
Um,
What about the traffic sergeant or the traffic officers?
yeah, I haven't had a chance to speak to them.
Got you.
It's been weird with Christmas and everything. They didn't really have the meeting last year. I mean, the last month of last year because of the gifting and all of that. So, but like I said, it had never been an issue before, and it's all of a sudden becoming, anywhere where there's lines, like for trying to mark off so it's not cars don't go through there as a lane. People have been just parking there along Bedford Park, along a lot of places out of nowhere. You see cars parked now where it used to just be open spaces. But yeah, and I know the tractor trailer thing has been more of an issue on the Grand Concourse lately, because I know the DOT, NYPD traffic and NYPD regular patrols, they started going to like Webster Avenue, Jerome Avenue, and ticketing or towing some of those trucks that are parking, and they're parking all the way up now to like the end of Gun Hill by Mushula Parkway. It's nothing but a parkway there, and you see tractor trailers parked on the side of the road, which is kind of crazy. But that's something, like I said, we're gonna have to start addressing, because it hadn't been a problem previously and is now becoming a problem. Do we have any questions from the committee? I know how do you call it? I'm sorry, Andrew had a question for TD11.
Yeah, regarding several things. The cars parked on the meridians between the main road and the service road, they not only block possible exit gates, but as we know, there are metal ventilation gratings on the surface. The vehicles weighing several thousand pounds are parked on top of these metal ventilation gratings. Structurally, I don't know the wear and tear, how much longer it can hold the weight of these vehicles. So not only are they illegally parked, in my opinion, they're also causing potential destructive damage to the subway infrastructure. Second, for the past 3 weeks, on a couple times a week, a 53-foot long tractor trailer. So the trailer is 53 feet long. My coworker mentioned to me he's an ex-truck driver. It's illegal in New York City. They can only operate under certain special hours. That truck is parked on the service road of the Grand Concourse, basically across from the church. And the person's name, you can look it up. The person who drives the vehicle, it's listed where they live. We called the EB Hunt, the corporation. They thought maybe it was stolen. And I've also seen other trucks on the concourse with my own eyes in broad daylight. Anybody can see it. The truck driver gets out with a screwdriver and removes the license plates from the truck, opens up the truck driver door, just tosses it in the cab, and goes about their merry way. So I don't know what can be done, but this is the Grand Concourse. It's supposed to be the jewel of the Bronx, and it's being spoiled by these people blatantly parking their vehicles on the concourse. And yes, we've called 311. I've spoken to traffic. They said there's nothing they can be done because there's no plates. So as a citizen, I find it very frustrating that it appears that nothing can be done, and these people are just acting with complete impunity. So is there anything that can be done?
Hey, Andrew, right? That was Andrew, right, Edgar?
Yes,
Hey, Andrew, I'm Officer Benedict. I would definitely follow up in reference to your concerns with the 5-2. I know y'all keep mentioning the church. Where is this church exactly located? Is that the one after Bedford Park Boulevard?
correct.
Gotcha.
It's like between 12th, 4th and Bedford Park.
All right, just wanted to.
In Philip Neary, where the fire was years ago.
Yeah, St. Philip Neri.
Oh, all right.
And it's on the northbound side, like it's in front of the church, but it's in the northbound lane. It's not in because it's the church is on the southbound lane.
Got it. All right, I would definitely will pass by tomorrow, honestly, to
Yep.
check it out, and I'm gonna reach out to the 5-2 as well. To
Yeah,
see
that was the one I was talking
definitely-
about that I had seen last night. Like I said, this is something that's new. Previous years we never had this problem. This is something that's just like kind of started towards the end of 2022, towards the end of the pandemic, I guess. People were starting to park places because they were the only places they found to park.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've noticed, but there's been a lot of construction up here in this
Yes.
area.
Yes.
There's a lot more buildings than there used to be.
Mhm.
And unfortunately, a lot of the lots that got eaten up for these new buildings
Yeah.
were what used to be parking lots. So
Right.
not only is there less parking spots in
Sure.
general, but there's
Mhm.
also more people looking for less parking spots.
Yes, correct.
I got you. I actually just pulled it up on Google Maps. I'm able to see it where exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
We'll definitely follow up with that.
But basically everywhere kind of north of Fordham Road, because they haven't, because they redid the concourse down by 161st, and they kind of changed the way the separation is between the express and local lanes, right? Between the center lanes and the side lanes, it's a little bit different now. And they haven't started that change yet north of Fordham Road. They're trying to finish up to Fordham Road. They're almost up at Fordham Road now, with the change in the construction, with the lanes, so that people aren't trying to cross across the concourse, because those are where the most of the deaths have been along the Grand Concourse. Is people trying to cross in between where the actual crosswalks have been. I know my cousin was killed that way by 174th Street, and a friend of ours very many years ago on Kingsbridge got killed because she got caught up crossing the street outside of the crosswalks, but the vehicles were just going too fast anyway. But I know they're trying to complete up to Fordham Road, and they haven't started that construction yet north of Fordham Road. But that's one of the things that started to happen. They're doing it also south of Fordham Road also, but it's a little different the way the medians are separated. Because we used to be the telephone building down by where Morris crosses underneath, just south of Tremont Avenue. Forget what the name of that building is now. Used to be Con Edison was there, then the phone company was there. Now there's the government office there, so because you see state vehicles that they're parking on the median because there's nowhere else for them to park. But like I said, up in our area, it's becoming more of a safety hazard because, as Andrew spoke, they're parking over grates that may not be able to support the vehicles, or over time may weaken the gates, and they're also covering up the escape hatches. So that's something I
have
guess
another
we'd have to bring
transit?
up to the 5-2 to figure out, what can we do?
Yes, we could actually try to see if we could work together to
Yep.
bring a better solution for it.
Andrew, you said you had something else?
Yeah, I have one more. So I read that the MTA is spending over $1 million a month to hire private, unarmed security guards. Wouldn't the money better be spent to hire fully trained, uniformed, armed transit police? I'm a little curious. And is that working out? Is that not working out? What?
And as far as that, honestly, that would be MTA. We cannot speak on behalf of the MTA.
If I get intercede on that,
Yes.
that's kind of their sneaky way of getting around pensions, right? Because they hire these private company guys, and these guys are basically just paid salary, right? They're paid per hour to be there. They're basically just being put there as a deterrent, right? Because people are less likely to hop the train if somebody's watching the turnstile. Someone that's determined to hop the turnstile, guess what? They don't care who's there. It's even with cops there, they'll still do it. And if they know that these security people are just a deterrent and know that they have no arrest capabilities or anything like that, all they can say is stop, don't do that. People are gonna hop the train. The normal nice person, I guess you would say, that's just maybe just doesn't have the money to pay for the train trip, it might stop them, but the person that's just like really doesn't care, it's not gonna do anything. But what it does is it puts a person there, which is part of the reason why they've eliminated some of the MTA staff on the platforms, right? They used to be like Kingsbridge Road had two booths, had two people in the booth. They had support people for the people in the booth. Now they're down to one booth, and that one person can't go all the way from one end of the platform to the other on both north and south tracks. So they bring people on that they're not being paid an MTA salary. They're not getting the MTA benefits. All they get is an hourly wage that in no way compares to what the MTA's what's that called? What their package is, what they're paid. I know TWU is the Transit Workers Union is fighting that because those are jobs that they could have given to some of the old station managers and stuff like that. Instead, they're getting people off the street, no training, no nothing. But like I said, they're just paying them an hourly wage. The TWU guys are fighting that because they should be using people that have full benefits and are being properly paid to do, to basically risk their lives, which is what they're doing every day. I don't know if that answers your question, Andrew.
Yes, thank you.
All right. Do we have any other questions? I see, Chad, you have a question?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes, hi, Happy New Year. So, question and a comment. I actually saw two guys hop the train while the cops were present. I'm just wondering, if it's something where they pick and choose who they approach when it comes to hopping the turnstiles. But the question I wanted to ask from the previous thing regarding the trucks, can these trucks be towed?
Where you gonna put them? There's no garages. There's no place to put them right now. Physically, the traffic and the traffic bureau and the precinct is having that problems. They have a lot of vehicles that they want to tow, but physically there's no place to put them. Right now, they've got a staging area right now, the secret staging area, which I'm not going to admit I know where it is, on Fordham Road, that they're putting vehicles to hold over because they have no place else to put the vehicles. You know, those
That's-
tractor trailers, first of all, the tow trucks to tow them are specialized vehicles, and then you have to have where to put them. They have a certain amount of those trucks available, and a lot of them are being used downtown to move trucks from spots that are blocking safety or other things. So that there are not that many of them available. But that's part of the reasoning for that. Just heads up on that.
So the space issue is within the district, or is it citywide that they don't have?
That's citywide.
Citywide? Oh,
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, because if you look at the police precinct in front of the 5-2, you always see 3 or 4 crashed cars, right? And they supposedly, when there's an accident or whatever, they tow the vehicle to the precinct, they do whatever investigation they have to do, and then from there, the vehicle gets picked up and gets taken to the impound lot or to the garages, right? Unfortunately, what happens is, like the 5-2, I think, has a 2-car-a-week limit, and sometimes you get 8 or 10 cars on a weekend. They get into accidents on the Bronx River or the Major Deegan, so they pick up 2 cars and they basically hold the other cars until there's space to take them, you know? So that's been an ongoing problem with a lot of the precincts throughout the 5 boroughs.
I see. Thanks.
And what was the other question about the train hopping that'd lead to TD11?
Oh, are there situations where PD might pick and choose who they approach when they hop the train?
I don't know. Listen, they should be enforcing it on everyone. They shouldn't be picking and choosing who they want to enforce and who not to. Obviously, they have discretion on, you know, when to enforce or whatnot, you know, give certain people's breaks, but they shouldn't be choosing you know, who they want to stop and who they don't want to stop.
They were literally 5 feet apart when it happened. So I'm guessing that the cop wasn't paying attention. So
Maybe they didn't notice it, or they wasn't paying attention. That's what I'm guessing.
All right, thank you.
All right, we have another hand up.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yes, in regards to the trucks, during the pandemic, everything shut down, including the ports, and all these people got jobs as truckers. They shouldn't be stigmatized. I'd rather have people working than unemployed and not paying taxes. Thank you.
all right. I hope you're one of the guys trying to get up the stairs when the door is blocked. All right, seeing we have no more questions for TD11, we'd like to thank you guys for
If they
showing
could
up and
enforce
giving us
the
the
rules, that would
information.
help that, not me, sir.
And also, Officer Meredith, I don't know if you had a chance. Have you been up by 204th Street by the tire shop? I remember we had that as a situation. You know, you seen the tires are no longer on top of the truck. Now they're all over the street.
Oh,
But
now
they-
they all over. I know last time when we was going back and forth, I did spoke to the owner. Remember
Yeah.
the situation was with the train station.
Yeah,
Then he moved them from that area and he had them in a truck, if I'm not mistaken. So
Yeah.
now he has
yeah,
them.
no, like that, like I said, they're no longer, because I know the captain's not aware. There was a point where the tires were being stacked on top of the truck, and they were basically almost up to where the tracks were. So where if God forbid somebody were to light the tires on fire, they would be reaching where the tracks were. But all of those tires have been cleared. But it's just it's outrageous because they're all over the sidewalk now. But they're no longer creating the safety concern that we had with the tracks with previously. I know, like I said, I know Officer Meredith I know you had addressed that. I wasn't sure if we had met since that situation has changed, but they did clear that, and And like I said, they're just now all over the street. We're still trying to address it differently. But thank you for your guys' information and updates on the stuff going on with transit. Yeah, one of the things is, you guys come to us as an agency, as a city agency. We also have issues that are MTA issues, but unfortunately, we don't get representation from MTA to come to the meeting. So sometimes you guys are hit with questions that are MTA questions, not necessarily TD11 NYPD questions. But you guys are the only quote unquote transit, representatives that we have. But like I said, we're working on that. We're trying to get someone from MTA to actually represent at the meetings so we can get a better help with ideas and thoughts at the stations.
Edgar, don't worry. I'm gonna see if I could try to follow up in reference to that for MTA, and I
Yep.
could see if I could connect you with the person.
Yeah,
All
I
right?
know we started communicating with somebody. I just haven't seen how far it's gotten. We haven't been able to, let's say with the holidays, missed meetings and stuff like that. It's been a little hard to follow up, but I think we are working on something with MTA, because what it is they've also been changing some of the personnel, the
Yes.
people that support the city. So the staff behind that has also been changing. So we're waiting to
Yes.
see if we get somebody named to that position. Like I
Correct.
said, thank you guys for always being there for us. Appreciate that. Do we have no any more questions? Daisy, I see your hand is
Yes.
up.
Yes, I have a transit police question. It's unrelated to this topic. I know there used to be a separate transit police and that was merged into NYPD, but I kind of wanted to know, is there still a department that's separate, like for archived transit police officers? Is there a way to contact that division?
I don't. Be more specific about that, Daisy, because we still are NYPD. Everything falls in the same agency. It's no longer like years ago.
So
Like
I'm trying to
how far back are you trying to go?
I'm trying to contact a family member that's deceased and I'm trying to get their records.
Okay.
And I was told that it's in archives, wherever that is.
Okay, that would be One Police Plaza at headquarters.
Yeah, I called them and they said I have to go somewhere in Brooklyn to the transit. I don't know. They didn't tell me anywhere. So I don't know if you know.
I'm gonna put down my information in the group chat. We could talk later on of
Okay, thank you.
Alright.
Thanks.
All right, guys. Thank you very much. I appreciate your assistance. All right. Being we don't have anything else on the agenda at this point. I know there's some stuff that we're going to be getting into with DOT for the February meeting, in reference to loading zones. So we've got that coming up in February. Is there anything else you guys need to see for our next meeting? Andrew, go ahead.
I just have, I think, well, this is more like new business.
Go ahead.
No, forget it, skip it, that's okay, forget it.
All right. Daisy, did you still have a question or is your hand from before?
Thank you. No.
Okay. All right, cool.
And just an update on the minutes.
Uh-huh.
Just an update on the minutes. I'm having some technical difficulties. For some reason, the emails don't want to get emailed to me, so they can be approved at the
All right,
February
do me a favor, give me a second. I gotta go to my, do I have to go? Hold on.
Copy and paste into the chat.
So Edgar, as far as transfer, we're good to go, right?
Yeah, you guys are great. Thank you. See you
All right.
guys in February.
All
Guys,
right,
be safe. Take
Be
care.
safe, everyone.
All right.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, guys. Just give me one more second. I think I got this. All right. Polly, give it a check. See if something else comes over.
Nope, nope. Technology is not agreeing with us today, Edgar.
What do you
Which
mean?
it's okay. I didn't get the email.
I just sent a new email.
Maybe
It
it's
should
just
be.
sent, yeah. Okay, I have them now.
Okay, you got it? All right, cool.
Yes, I'll
Thanks.
pull them up.
Yeah, I just tried sending it to Andrew. So Andrew, you might see something popping up in your inbox from me.
Okay, I'll check.
Mhm.
Okay, so now let me share them. Oh, hold on. Do you need an additional minute? Are you all good?
Can everyone hear that wonderful music we hear playing outside? I don't know if the microphones are picking up that horn honking outside. All right, so we're gonna go with the down the list for the vote on the
Sorry, I had my hand up. I just want to go on record asking where in the bylaws does it say a petition is needed?
I'm sorry,
if that
this
can
isn't a
cite the
bylaws
roadway.
meeting, it's a traffic and transportation meeting, so that would have to be taken up at a different meeting.
The
You had not been
minutes-
acknowledged by the chair, right, because I was in the middle of doing something, but I guess, you know. So as I was saying, Eric, do you approve the minutes as they're presented? Eric, you still there? All right, Lowell Green.
approve, approve with spelling corrections as noted.
Okay. Daisy?
Approve with corrections. Thank.
All right, thank you. Andrew?
Andrew Leos approves with corrections.
Okay, now just out of quick curiosity. Okay, never mind. All right, I noted the correction of the spelling, thank you. All right, so do we have any other issues for our December meeting? All right, being we don't have anything else to add for our February meeting, Andrew, you have something?
Yeah, I'm just in general, it seems to me like, I mean, I'm guilty of this myself, kind of let things slip. So for example, I'm thinking of like, you know, we had the charging stations in municipal parking lots. We're hearing more and more on the news of of electric vehicles. I'd like to know the status of that. You know, has that been resolved? I brought up the issue of the city bikes to this day. We don't know because they have not been transparent and haven't been providing the information of the sites that they chose and they implemented in our community board. Are
Right.
some being overused? Are some being underused? Should some be removed? Should some be expanded? There's like
That's-
no feedback.
That's a current
we have-
problem that DOT has, because DOT isn't getting real-time information from city bikes. Because like I said, I know you keep requesting it. I go forth and request it to DOT, but unfortunately DOT has not been able to furnish any information and or numbers for us. But I understand that being an issue. Yeah, there's a lot of things that we ask for updates or we ask for follow-ups on, and they just haven't been available. As far as with the charging stations and the parking lots, yeah, that's my fault. I haven't further inquired to DOT about that. I'll do that for our next meeting. I know the last time it was in the hands of the vendors because there was a problem with getting the actual equipment for the charging stations. but they were supposed to be working on that. And what else do you need, Andrew?
Oh, no, that was it. And I think there's another hand raised.
All right. All right, someone stating that their hand is raised. Unfortunately, they want to bring up things that have to do with, things that don't have to do with traffic and transportation. So I don't see any reason to, acknowledge them. And if they're gonna just blurt out and speak when they want, they can go do that in another meeting. I'm gonna call this meeting, Traffic and Transportation for January completed. Thank you,
I was
everybody.
talking about the minutes, sir. They should be
Everyone have a great evening. Take care. Thank you.
decorum and respect towards the public, please.